green's a tough color to take out of your like ensemble choice. Like I can't wear this. Like St. Patty's Day. It's a bloodbath. You would think you would pick a color that's a little less common to be like, this is the war color. This is gasoline in a mud puddle. Oh, now it's that was wartime. Hey, Internet. It's Paul. It's Matt. The Dork Lords. We are here talking about House of the Dragon. Season 1, Episode 5. We Light the Way. Which is the Hightower's family motto. Refers to a tower in the family seat with a beacon that notably lights up green in times of war. No reason to mention that.
No.
I'm just throwing that out there as like a little trivia. It has nothing to do with anything. We open with Daemon, having been recently exiled again, returning to the Vale and ultimately murdering his wife, which we'll talk more about that scene in a second. We end with a very unhappy wedding scheduled at the last second, in which Rhaenyra and Laenor, still suffering from grief and shock, say their vows just in time for King Viserys to collapse in a heap behind them. But actually, for a Game of Thrones style wedding, not bad.
Oh, yeah.
Not bad. They got
I
off
think
pretty
that's
easy.
how they do it at those, weddings there. It's like, okay, give the daughter away and then collapse.
Right. Oh, you've signed up for the stabbings? Got it. Okay, we'll just put that in. So that said, Paul.
Yes.
What did you think of Episode 5?
I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. It's more machinations. It was quite violent. I understand these characters. I like, what they're doing. It makes sense. So yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, there's something about this episode in particular. I mean, you could apply this to much of Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, but you can see everyone thinking through their phrasings before they say them.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
Like, will this collection of words get me killed? I mean, it's just,
well, with one exception.
good point.
It's like you probably should have just let it go.
Right. Hey, pretty cool that we're like the other men, right? Anyway, I gotta go dance over. Oh God! But just for everyone else, it must be exhausting just to just to talk about the weather. This is going to be some code for how I feel about the king.
Yeah.
Looks rainy today. Does it? Oh God, what have I done? I was commenting. Oh, now I'm dead. Great. We get the very dramatic Viserys collapses. He's been sick the whole episode, right?
Yes.
I don't know that he goes through a few seconds without coughing.
No.
They point back to the fingers he's lost. He's in terrible shape. Yeah. And then he coughing up blood. You're like, all right, the guy's dead. Yeah. And he drops. But no.
Yes. Yeah.
Trailer for next week. It's a significant time jump, and he's still around.
Yes.
So I'm like, how is he still alive?
Around. He's still barely.
He survived a matting, essentially.
It's a surprise to everybody. Yeah.
So in some ways, the show had his cake and ate it too. They were like, "Oh, he fell down, but he's still around."
I'm not going to be surprised at all to see you come into the frame when he finally dies. Finally!
Exactly. They'll paint me in. I called it.
It's like, don't pull a Rasputin. Stay down.
He's living on borrowed time. As far as I'm concerned now. Every second he's on, this camera's one more than I thought he'd be. So, well done, sir. Okay, so let's talk about that opening shot. So, Daemon, his wife, I think her name is Rhea. She's out hunting. And she's had a successful hunt. We've seen she's got some pheasant or something. And he's standing there on the trail. She pulls up. They have this conversation. He's wearing his, +2 evil cloak. But during the conversation, she figures out, oh, you probably would like to kill me so you can remarry. And so it kind of occurs to her in real time, I might be in danger here. But she's on a horse. He's on foot, and he doesn't appear to be armed. He uses a rock to kill her eventually, so I don't think he's even got weapons. So,
yeah.
In the moment, it seemed like the easy thing to do would be ride the horse, I don't know, 10 yards away. And you're like, hey, I'm safe.
Well, she might have figured. I guess she was late to that realization, so it caused her to panic. I guess.
Yeah.
Her uncle was unhappy with the whole thing. But if he had just seen it, he might have praised him, for like, wow, you didn't really do too much.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, he's coming off, he being Damon is coming off as a scheming genius, but
yes,
at the start of that conversation, there was a 1% chance that she'd die in the next 5 minutes. I mean, it's an accident. It's a complete accident. And then she's paralyzed. I don't know. Maybe he's like, you know what? Out of love for you, I'll crush you to death with a rock.
While everything she said, she had a point to it. It's still like, it's not a marriage that I would want to be in.
No. So he's brutal and terrible and devious, but I don't think we give him credit for arranging for her to break her back. And then, whatever. So it was just, it's a happy happenstance for him, as it turns out.
Yes, it is.
Which they could have gone a different way with it, right? They could have gone with a Damon shoots her off her horse or something. I don't know. But they're like, it was an accident, and then he was.
And apparently, in the book, really, they don't. That's not very much discussed.
Right? They just say she crushed her skull.
She had an accident.
Whatever, Growing up riding horses, Paul, you always wear the helmet. You got to wear your helmet. It was always like. Because actually, that was the thing. You could crush your skull. Okay, fine. Oh, God, you scared me into wearing my helmet.
Now you got something to show people.
Right, exactly. Exhibit A.
Okay, here's the first lesson. You never know when your husband might come up and want to get married again.
A circumstance that now leaves Damon available to marry again. And we see him kind of flirting with Lena? Anyway, Corliss's daughter, the one who was like a little tiny kid that was going to get wedded to Viserys.
Yes. She grew up in those short years, much more than,
Right, she aged. Everyone else stayed the same. So we're setting up then for the greens versus the blacks. So wearing green signifies that Alicent and her son are going to fight for their succession rights. Green's a tough color to take out of your ensemble choice. I can't wear this. St. Patty's Day. It's a bloodbath. You would think you would pick a color that's a little less common to be like, this is the war color. This is gasoline in a mud puddle. Oh, now that was wartime. But yes, so she does the green dress. That's what it signifies. You're going to have this civil war is looming. Green side, if you wear green, you are supporting Alicent and Aegon. If you're wearing black, you're supporting Rhaenyra.
So you look a lot more svelte if you support Rhaenyra.
That's true. You're right.
So much more slimming.
It was amusing to me in the time, even though it wasn't a funny scene. But it's a scene where she's asking Kristen, and she wants to ask him, "Hey, did you see Rhaenyra sleep with Damon?"
Yes.
But it's almost like with different music, it could have been a comedic farce because she's alluding to it all these times, and finally he just assumes you're talking about me. Yeah, I did it, and then she's like, "What?" Okay, that's not what I thought was happening at all. Anyway, so it was interesting the way they framed it. I appreciated.
I watched that scene again between Rhaenyra and Alicent, and she denies sleeping with her uncle. Now, she says that he never touched her, which of course he did.
Yeah. But no, I think I know where you're going.
He left him, but she didn't, it wasn't like, and she did kind of say, "Oh, you'd be defiled" or whatever. And so, and I guess you could say that she's saying just that you had sex. It's not that not who it was. But
I think
it was
like,
no,
important,
that
frankly.
one thing is wrong. Yeah.
Right, you see Rhaenyra or Alicent's face when she hears that Kristen slept with Rhaenyra, and she looks upset. I would have thought she'd take comfort. You know what? Rhaenyra didn't lie to me. Like the implication was, oh, she had the tea because she slept with Damon, but she told me she didn't sleep with Damon. But now it's like, here's confirmation. Oh, actually, Rhaenyra was right. So, okay, great, awesome, problem solved. And, I don't know, but
and here you can, obviously it's sort of like she is someone who has played by the rules. She was a good girl, and then she did as her father said and got married to an old king, and then had babies. And she talked about how she would be defiled and everything. A lot of times, even previously, when Rhaenyra was talking about how she had to go around to look for suitors and all that, she was all like, "Oh, I wish I had people swanning over me or whatever." But it's like it's not quite like that. She, does not live the same life as Rhaenyra does. So, this shows how she doesn't sympathize. She, doesn't sympathize with her. So, people are saying betrayal and all that, and I guess, she could have said, no, I didn't do it with that. I did it later with she could have been like that, and then she would have been shocked, I guess. I mean, it was clear how she felt. So, I can hardly blame Rhaenyra for not telling.
I agree.
Her.
I agree that in that moment, by saying I didn't sleep with Damon, I think that's all you needed to say. I don't think she was like, by the way, the guy who would be tortured and killed if I told on him.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we slept together. You can go ahead and kill him now. You're like, no, you have plenty of reasons not to go, by the way, Kristen and I. It's like, no.
Skipping on to the end, though, while I like the episode, Kristen, why is he alive? I mean, it's like, he was, he offered to be killed twice. It's like, for me, sleeping with the princess, could you, I mean, just kill him quick. Don't make me suffer, please, is the first thing he says. And then he's going to kill himself. And then, because
how did he even have the chance to kill himself? It's like he's almost like Viserys in this. It's like, oh yeah, Viserys should be dead. Here's a guy who, seemingly to all public, eyes, unprovoked, just killed a visiting noble, and he's the king's guard, and he beat this guy to death at a not the wedding, but a wedding festival, and then walked out. He just left, and they're like,
I would have appreciated at least seeing at least a few more shots of somebody trying to hold him back, just a few more, just. Okay, he gets it. All right.
So he goes out to commit suicide, and then Alicent stops him from committing suicide. And obviously now he's completely, what would say, on the side of the green.
Now,
he's going to be wearing green.
Did she really stop him, or did she just look at him as he was going to do it?
Oh, I think she stopped him. Right. I think what the implication is, hey. I need an ally. She's run out of allies in the court, and so she's like, I could have you killed with a word, because she knows this. You slept with Rhaenyra. I could just say that, and you would die terribly. But I'm not. See, we're nice. I'm nice here, and I have stopped you from committing suicide because I'm going to give you some kind of purpose. And he's gonna be on her side.
Well, yeah, but it just shows though what a poor suitor he was, though. It's like, one, he, while he was attracted to Rhaenyra, and you think, oh, they're close, and maybe you think, oh, they could, maybe if she did go off with him, but no, she did not. He did not understand the nature of her at all, and so he's so noble. That he, he's like, oh, what am I gonna do? I made this vow that
I wanted to marry you to make myself wipe the slate clean, basically.
Yep. But you wouldn't do that, and then woe is me. Maybe they're all on the guard there. They really do good a job of being chaste, but there's got to be one or two that are just making it through, like sneaking off to the village and getting their funk on.
They're like, no follow-up questions. I got the cloak. We all get what that means. I'm fine.
Yeah, it's not like they need to check, like a doctor needs to check him or whatever. Right. He could have gotten away with it.
Well, that interesting, that bit. So he gives his, a pretty good plea. I'll say he's on the ship with Rhaenyra, and he's like, "Look, here's the deal. We could run away together. I know people. We could be gone. We could be out of here. You could just put everything aside." And Rhaenyra's like, "Yeah, no, I can't do that." But it occurred to me that I think she probably would have said no in any case. But something that gives her more of a reason to say no is this stuff that we've been told, which is like the prophecy, right? So she is now she's been told this prophecy, Song of Ice and Fire, Targaryen lineage has to survive. She would theoretically be the Targaryen lineage. So I think she believes it. So there's that. I think that particular knowledge meant that there was zero chance she was going to say, okay, fine, I'll just give everything up and go away with you. Because she feels, I think instinctively there is this sense of like, I have a duty to carry on this legacy of the Targaryens, I think.
She may feel that strongly. I mean, it's ironic in that she will not live to see that threat come. But I feel as if just as strong, though, or maybe even stronger, is a sort of like, she's been raised to think that she's been raised in a family that's royal. Yep. And she's been told she's the heir. And so it's like, why should she give up her birthright? Why should she give up, and there's a reason why Viserys chose her. And so, that'd be kind of throwing it back in his face. I mean, even think about...
Oh, you're right. There's a huge familial pressure just to like go, yes. I'm playing the game. I'm fine. Yep, I'm in the Game of Thrones. Yes. So I get that. As I say, I think she probably says no matter what, but I think there was that little extra like, oh, and by the way, you do owe it to the future.
In a way, it was sort of a surprise when she sort of taunted Daemon in this and sort of saying, because he was foolishly trying to instruct her, that she shouldn't go ahead with the wedding. And, after telling her that she can do whatever she wants. But, I think for her, like, it's a choice of her cousin or her uncle. Yes, and two, it's sort of like, previously, they're not merely just weird kink or what are the trying to keep the bloodline pure for raising dragons, but in terms of consolidating power, there's a political reason to do that, in spite of the fact that everybody gives everybody the heebie-jeebies.
Well, and it's interesting too, so we have this setup where she being Rhaenyra, is still trying to break the rules while playing within the rules. So she's like, look, aha, you know what he could do? Fine. Dad's like insisting that I marry Laenor. Fine. I'll do it. But I'll just confide in Laenor. I'll be like, hey, we can just each have our trysts. Then we're together for the sake of it, for official purposes, but then we can actually live the lives we want. But by the end of the episode, neither of them can do that because both of their...
Well, they still could do it. Well, not with the people that they
not with the people
had originally... Yeah, they can still do it.
Choose again.
I mean, don't make that as part of the pitch to the next people.
Ah, all right.
Yeah.
It's like, you're next. You're the replacements.
It's like, remember that hamburger-faced guy? Would you be interested in...
replacing him?
What was Hamburger Face's name?
I don't remember.
So anyway, Hamburger Face and Laenor were talking. And it's like, oh, we figured it out. And, the next step should have been, go talk to Rhaenyra to see what kind of guy he is. It's like, you know him. Would he be happy with this arrangement?
Great point. Just talk it out. Da, 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 da. Anyway, gotta go get a drink. Like, okay. Oops.
It's like, you know what? Like, first he asked me to run away with him, and I say no.
I said no.
And then I say, well, we can still have a
right,
thing. And then he says, I'll be your whore.
Right.
So that was 2 strikes right there.
Right there.
So she could have been like, well, look, would you be okay? So you wouldn't be okay with me, us having a relationship. That actually should have been like, okay, let me,
Yep.
That's another reason why they should have talked to her, because she's like, I don't think he's down with it.
Right, exactly. I think maybe that's not the guy anymore. We'll just say that.
Yeah, so it's like, and then he could have went to his, hamburger
face,
future hamburger face guy, and been like, no, don't do it. Don't
go talk to that guy. Well, also,
don't look so happy walking around.
There's part of it is the, he could be jealous, he being Kristen, but also just you're telling this guy who is a king's guard, obviously, he's got the cloak on, and they're supposed to have a vow of celibacy under pain of death, and you're like, yeah, I realize you have forsaken your vow. Anyway, I know that, so I'm gonna go over here. Like you're totally setting yourself up too. Who are you? Who are you to keep that secret? I mean, anyway, so. Yeah, he was just asking to be punched in the face until he was hamburger.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're probably right that he'll be an asset to Alicent. And it'd just be another mistake Rhaenyra made in not having his ass killed.
Ooh, okay. You're cutthroat game of House of the Dragon. All right.
Yeah, he's clearly a liability. You can't trust his ass.
He is clearly a liability at this point. He's a spurned lover. I mean, who and is he? Well, we'll see what he becomes. I assume he wouldn't be Rhaenyra's Kingsguard anymore, right? Is that gonna be next episode?
Yeah.
10 years later, well, another day on the job. Like, what? How is he still there?
Just talk to Damon to be like, could you take him horseback riding?
You have this knack for making horses rear up and then knock people down, so do that.
Yeah, make sure you take enough rocks.
So that is the state of affairs. I enjoyed, again, this very Game of Thrones, a lot of political machinations. I mentioned how people have to be so careful with what they say. The bit where Corlys is talking to his wife, Rhaenys, who was supposed to be queen back in the day. Yes. And, he's saying things, and she's like, let's just keep it down, because they're in a big open room, and he's like basically saying like, yeah, I'd commit treason for you. And you're like, shut up! Why are you saying this out loud? Don't you realize anyone could hear this? So shut up. And, so it's interesting. Like you could see how it's like words mean something. They really do.
Yeah.
And anyway, so it's cool. It's there's a lot of tension in every scene, and I'm excited to see this time jump now, and see how this is playing out for episode 6.
Yes.
So we'll be back talking about that, talking about She-Hulk, talking about Rings of Power, and so come on back for all that. Thank you as always, Paul. Appreciate it, good sir.
Oh, you're welcome. No problem.
And we'll talk to everybody next time. Bye.
Bye.